beside the point. So bear with me. Listen to this clip, and I want to talk about a bigger issue that I think affects all of us. There's Jose Diaz-Balart. Well, who's he with? One of the, with MSLSD today. Wasn't this guy a congressman? Wasn't he a Republican congressman? What's he doing at MSL? Well, he must be a rhino. Cut 9, go.
You know, how do you see him as a potential candidate?
I see him as a Flat Earth Society worshiper.
Let's stop right there. Flat Earth Society worshiper. Now, let me explain why this is important. Not her, and not the accusation per se. When I wrote Liberty and Tyranny, I wrote at some length about the use of language. And I talked at some length about how the left bastardizes language. And why do they do that? And this is why I think with this election cycle now, it's important to remind ourselves. They do this to delegitimize anybody who disagrees with them, whether it be a Republican or a conservative, whether it be a scientist on global warming, whatever it is or whomever it is. They want to limit the field of debate. They do not believe in the free flow of ideas. They do not believe in true engagement. So if you do not accept the fake science when it comes to global warming, man-made global warming, and they change the verbiage, now all of a sudden it's climate change. How can you oppose climate change? Of course the climate changes. But you get the point. You're a denier. You're a flat earther. So it's not even legitimate to have a different position, even if it's based on science and knowledge and rationality. It's illegitimate. Your position is illegitimate right out of the box. Same with the first hour, as I was talking about. You have to have a woman president because it's time. Because a man can't possibly know what a woman wants. And women are this and women are that. So in other words, because it's Hillary Clinton. Trust me, if it had been a conservative woman running for president, it wouldn't matter if they're a woman or not. But here they want to take issues off the table. They want to limit the field of debate. They want to limit the types of issues that can be discussed. So conservatives will not or cannot engage. But it's not just in politics. It's not just in the media. This is going on in academia. It's going on in classrooms all over the country, as I've talked about before and I've written about before. But again, we need to remind ourselves of this. It's to try and dismiss out of hand, mock, humiliate anybody who comes up with a contrary view, contrary to the left. It could be history class, could be philosophy in college, could be in any class. Oh, you don't believe in man-made global warming? And the laughing starts and everybody points. So it's not like, it doesn't matter if you have a textbook full of data. It doesn't matter to prove your point. Because it's an illegitimate position, period. It's an illegitimate position to believe in traditional marriage, period. It's an illegitimate position to oppose abortion, period. It's an illegitimate position to believe in free market capitalism, period. And you've heard, oh, you don't believe in regulations? Oh, you don't believe in taxation? No, we believe in regulations. We don't believe in this. No, we believe there should be some taxation. We don't believe in massive Marxist redistribution of wealth and iron-fisted government that oversees it. Oh, you don't believe in that? You get the point. We conservatives, we think for ourselves. We reason. We try to gain as much knowledge as we can. We look back at history and experience. We try to apply all these things. We use the skills, the senses that God gave each of us to try and figure things out. We want other people to do the same. We want as much liberty as an ordered society can manage. But the left doesn't want any of these things. The left says it's for science, but it attacks science. The left says it's for knowledge, but it attacks knowledge. The left says it's for reason, but now we're talking about genitalia. The left is none of these things. But really, I think you need to be acutely aware of this. It's not just a tactic. It's not just a technique. It is a poison that is spreading throughout our society. Whether it's Hollywood and entertainment, whether it's the phony news media, whether it's television, news, whether it's the classroom, public schools, secondary schools, colleges and universities, it's going on all over the place. So when you hear a Debbie Wasserman Schultz say, I see him, Rubio, as a flat earth society worshiper, immediately, this Svengali, this detestable fraud, is trying to control what we think, our thought processes, what can be discussed freely, engagement of ideas. It is a totalitarian mindset. It is a phrase I've been using over and over again, and you can hear other hosts use it now, and they should. It is a totalitarian. I want to move along a little bit here. I mentioned this website's quite good, the White House dossier by this Keith Koffler. And to understand the context of what he's talking about, Obama putting an end to the Monroe Doctrine, which has been around since as long as Secretary of State Monroe, during the administration of James Madison. I want you to hear Obama. Cut 1. This is Friday in Panama City. Go.
As you work for change, the United States will stand up alongside you every step of the way. We are respectful of the differences among our countries.
Stop. Why? If you're dealing with a police state which has a history of genocide, political persecution, torture, and execution, why are we respectful of the differences among our countries? Can you imagine, I said this last week, a political prisoner in one of Cuba's gulag prisons being told by one of his guards what Obama said on Friday? We are respectful of the differences among our countries? And then being championed by the left in our own country. Go ahead.
The days in which our agenda in this hemisphere so often presumed that the United States could meddle with impunity, those days are past.
Look how he thinks about his own country. For that, I told you, he hates America. He doesn't love America. We don't interfere with countries to the south with impunity. We don't meddle with impunity. When the Russians and Soviets were trying to get bases in Central and South America, and when communism was spreading in Central South America, yes, of course, we meddled in defense of our own security. But that's not meddling. That's what presidents do, and that's what Republican and Democrat presidents have done. Obama's notions about America and security are alien to this country. They're un-American. And he's down there pandering to dictators. And as Koffler writes at the White House dossier, Obama officially closed a chapter in U.S. history that has guided presidents since nearly the beginning, indicating the United States will no longer act to resist overseas influence in our hemisphere. In our hemisphere. Let's think about what Obama meant here. Obama's worldview was helped in the 1980s within leftist universities, where political science professors groaned ceaselessly about Ronald Reagan and dismissed his anti-communism as primitive warmongering that failed to recognize the basic decency of our enemies. And when it came to Latin America, they spouted something called dependency theory, which posited that U.S. policy in the region was predicated on sucking the wealth out of smaller, less powerful nations, not preventing Soviet expansion. Now this, of course, is the theory Obama embraced, viewing our meddling as ignoble capitalist exploitation, not a defensive parry against the Soviets. Obama on the phone with Raul Castro, December 16, 2014, as they show a photo of him on the website. Now, Obama, as the Iranians have recently recognized, does not understand the evil designs of our enemies and believes in campfire sing-alongs rather than fighting fire with fire. Meanwhile, he suspects the motives of the United States, and in so opposing communism in El Salvador, Nicaragua, Chile, Guatemala, and anywhere else was meddling, notwithstanding the foreign influence behind indigenous communist movements, meaning the Soviets. The foreign influence is exactly what James Monroe was trying to deflect. Here's what Monroe said. The American continents, by the free and independent condition which they have assumed to maintain, are henceforth not to be considered as subjects for future colonization by any European powers. We owe it, therefore, to candor and to the amicable relations existing between the United States and those powers to declare we should consider any attempt on their part to extend their system, meaning the Europeans or the enemies, to any portion of this hemisphere as dangerous to our peace and safety. But not Obama. Obama just invited the Russians, the Communist Chinese, the Islamo-Nazis into Central and South America. And any effort to stop it as American meddling in the parochial interests of one dictatorship or another. This man is a disgrace